Yo, 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 yo. Let me make sure everything is on the up and up. Good evening, peace, and blessings to the people. I hope all is well. Appreciate you for being here this evening. Happy Monday. I am your host for this evening. Shout out to my poets, writers, and content creators. All in between. You see the title. Yeah, we gotta talk about it. I got a 5-minute clip that I want to play. We gotta chop it up, man. Ever since this whole Epstein file thing has been going on, you're starting to see more and more names come up. I wasn't surprised. Not gonna hold you, not one bit. I knew last year was going to be bad, but 2026, oh yeah, it's definitely about to get nasty for a lot of these celebrities, rappers, athletes, all of them, influencers included. But this is what I want to do. I want to bring this up on the big screen, and I'm gonna let him get his bars off. Shout outs to the brother on TikTok for covering this particular piece, and we're gonna have a conversation. So let's see. Boom.
So Nicki Minaj stirred up a pot last night. She started calling Jay Z out for satanic, ritualistic things. Oh, it got real. Let's just read some of the things she said. Are y'all understanding that these people have been sacrificing children as a way of gaining and maintaining power? If you ever vote Democrat again, you're just as soulless as they are and will perish. Maybe it's time for me to do some story times since I was trying to not say what I know, yet they continue to attempt bullying. Guys, it gets no more blatant than that. But in case you still don't know what she was saying, let's go to another tweet. She put your favorite artist, so not just Jay Z, your favorite artist, has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and unalive them as a form of blood sacrifice to their God. My Lord. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. Guys, do you know how wicked this is? Not only that, but this is stuff that many of us have known for years. And the world called us crazy. Now somebody who was fully in the world, coming out of the world, is exposing it. Oh, it looks a little different now, don't it? We've been talking about this since Jay Z wore a sweater with the number one satanic commandment on it. Do what thou wilt. Do what you want. We've been talking about this since Jay Z's song State of Empire, where he said, Hail Mary to the city, you're a virgin, and Jesus can't save you. This is his lyrics. Jesus can't save you. Life starts when the church ends. Jay Z said that. He put it in a song so you couldn't even really hear it. How many of us were in the world singing the State of Empire? New York! One of the biggest songs in New York, and this was in the doggone third verse. Can you believe that? A mainstream song where a rapper said Jesus can't save you in it. Nobody heard that before, though, have they? No, not until we started speaking up about it. So he wore a sweater with the number one satanic commandment on it. He has a verse where he says Jesus can't save you. Let's not get into his other verses. We got a song called Family Feud where he says he told his wife the spiritual stuff really works. Well, if he's saying Jesus can't save you, and then in another song he says the spiritual stuff really works, what spiritual stuff do you think he's talking about? It's not rocket science, people. There's also a picture of him in the Masonic Lounge. Heck, we've been talking about this since he made a video with Marina Abramovic. And don't get me started on Marina Abramovic with her spirit cooking, where she takes blood and wipes it all on the wall, making different words with blood. I mean, this video might get banned off these social platforms because we're getting too real right now. I told y'all this man's empire was going to fall. He should have kept the Lord's name out of his mouth. He has a whole website called the Book of Hove, ladies and gentlemen, where he talks about his name. Hova is a play on Jehovah. That's why he goes by Jehovah. Allow him to reintroduce himself. I mean, at some point, even people who like Jay Z have to come into an understanding, because either you like him or you're on God's side. You're on his side or you're on God's side, because he sure isn't on God's side. And sad thing is, he took his wife from being on God's side, because we all know Beyonce used to be a Christian. She sung in the church. Nowadays, she's doing witch rituals, different sacrifices to Oshun. Oh, you think we can't see it? Oh, you think we dumb, deaf, and out of our mind, brainwashed? Is that what you're thinking? Oh, no. All your times are coming to an end. And I don't just mean dying, I mean being exposed. The witches, the warlocks, all of your times are coming to an end. You will be exposed. The truth about you will be shown to the world. At that point, they'll make up their own decision, whether it be on your side or be on God's side. Because that's exactly what it's going to be.
Anybody surprised? I got another clip I'm gonna play. Why not? Let's just unload the whole thing. And before I even go into the other one, I want to address this one. There's a lot of dark practices out here, a lot of very satanic and out of the ordinary practices out here in the world, in houses and temples and buildings of business, from the government to the top. These men and these women, man, they cutting frog legs, eating raw cardboard and all type of weird shit, giving their soul and their life over to an entity that they believe is on the right side of the law, that's going to give them everything that they need necessary in order to maintain a certain level of success in celebrity. And it's at the risk of these demons investing in these impurities, and basically anybody who is in the way of them maintaining this power or this position, you're getting burnt, you're getting torn down, you're getting railroaded, you're going to be sacrificed, you're going to be humiliated, we're going to be the target every single time. Anytime somebody is that greedy, anytime somebody is that desperate to hold on or to find themselves playing like they are the Alpha and Omega, all bets are off. You just don't know what a human is capable of. 40 plus years on this planet, I've seen just about everything that I think I could have ever imagined seeing. Stuff that I just wasn't expecting, I wasn't anticipating, from the way that adults deal with the children to the way that they deal with other adults. It's like, how do you still walk this planet idolizing another fucking soul? Like, seriously. Yeah, hold up. Yeah, let me check something because maybe I don't know why it's not cooperating or working because I haven't changed or off. I mean, altered anything with this link specifically. Let me double check though. Let me double check. Um. Okay. Yeah, that's on me. That's on me, folks. My apologies. This is an entirely different link. I should have double checked this. Hold on a second. I gotta go back. I gotta go back and fix this. P. All right. All right. I just switched them out. I don't know what happened with that. Where was I? Matter of fact, let me get back to this video. Let me get back. Matter of fact, let me go to the next clip. The next one is a little different than this one. Shout outs. I appreciate the heads up because I was under the impression that everything was cool with that link. Obviously, it was a different one. I just straightened it out. Um, let me go to this next clip.
We do have Jay Z and Pusha T being named in the Epstein files. Now, we do have to remember these are accusations, and we have no way to know if these claims have ever been followed up on. And it was a tip submitted to the FBI back in 2019. Now, I did search the rest of the Epstein files to see if any other allegations were made against Jay Z in these files, and there was not. But some things that I did find in these Epstein files were Jay Z's name being referenced in multiple different emails sent to Jeffrey Epstein. Like this one back from 2013, the sender's name is blacked out and it says to Jeffrey Epstein, and the subject is lessons from Jay Z's business model, Vulture. And the person says extremely clever, but then the rest of it is blacked out. And in 2014, Jeffrey Epstein gets an email from Jess Staley. And Jess Staley is an American banker and the former group chief executive at Barclays, and he spent 34 years at JP Morgan. And back in November of 2021, he resigned because he started to get scrutiny over his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. The New York Times created an article with Epstein's chief defender at JP Morgan, helping Epstein maintain accounts at the firm amid internal concerns that Epstein was using those accounts for illegal activities. So Jess wrote to Jeffrey Epstein, "You want to know why we're not Say Paulo? Watch the TV ads on the Super Bowl. It's all about hip blacks in hip cars with white women. That group should be in the streets. Has been bought off by Jay Z." And then there was another email sent by Mark Lloyd to Jeffrey Epstein back in May of 2015. And it appears to be an article that this man got sent to his email account, and then he turned around and sent it to Jeffrey Epstein. And it talks about a couple different things. But one thing that is referenced in this email and even in the subject title is Jay Z defends himself against Marina Abramovich accusation with proof of donation. And this article is when Marina Abramovich accused accused Jay Z of not paying a donation to her institute after she appeared in his music video for song Picasso Baby. This is that music video that everybody remembers, and Marina is straight demonic and creepy as hell. Now, this is a tip back in 2009 that was sent to the FBI that references Jay Z, Harvey Weinstein, and Pusha T. It says on July 10th of 2019 at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time, someone called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to identify herself as a victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. This person said in approximately 1994, she revealed herself as a past victim of abuse by Epstein. She described the abuse that occurred during parties, and she also described someone as a friend of someone. In approximately 1996, she revealed that she resided with someone somewhere. An unknown man abducted someone from her home when she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, known as Jay Z. This person claimed that Harvey Weinstein inserted his fingers into... She believed that she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. This person estimated that she was abducted on 7 occasions, awaking each time in an indoor setting. He said that she suffered abuse on multiple of those occasions in which Epstein participated. She claims that she recalled Leon Black and William Barr, the current United States Attorney General, being present during some of the occasions of the abuse. And in approximately 2006, Blank last recalled being abused by Epstein. On each occasion, she believed that she was given substances clouding her memory. She attributed this by being performed by people assigned as handlers, whom she described as persons who established friendships with the victims. Among her handlers, she identified artist Pusha T. In approximately 2007, Blake attended a party following invitation from an unknown man who approached her as she walked down the street. Weinstein and Pusha T attended the party and her before engaging in abuse. She claimed to have additional information of other people involved in the enterprise and information related to racketeering conduct in support of the trafficking. She further believed that she was under surveillance and stalked at the direction of people involved in the abuse. She confirmed that she was not diagnosed with any mental illness, and she refused to provide her physical address, advising that she maintained no permanent address. Rather, she moved between staying at different hotels. Now, it is very important to note that this is just a tip that literally anybody in the world can send to the FBI. They literally just called the hotline. But at the same time, that doesn't mean it's not deserved to be talked about. It definitely is. And we are seeing the media kind of ignore this part. We don't know if the FBI ever investigated these women's claims or not. That's the problem with the Epstein files as a whole, because there are valid things that you can find in emails and more that have been out there, but even more so in the new drop of documents that it seems like the FBI never went after. So I think it's important, because of having unknown facts when it comes to the Epstein files, that it's important that we still talk about these things. But at the same time, you have to remember that anybody can put in a tip. And like I said, this was the only accusation out of all of the documents that have been dropped in phase 1 and phase 2, where I see Jay Z even being referenced. Now, one thing I really do like to look at when I'm going through these Epstein files are Jeffrey Epstein's emails and text messages with a lot of different people. And one of those people is good old Woody Allen, which shouldn't be a surprise because we've all known the allegations that have been against him for years. From what I found, Woody Allen was really good friends with Jeffrey Epstein and maintained contact with him for years. So I'm going to keep going over different things that I find in these Epstein files. I'm literally searching for certain people by name and going through everything. Some of these videos I might go ahead and post on here, but a lot of them I will probably post over on my YT page at Kadisha Lynn. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. We do have Jay Z and Pusha.
A lot, ain't it? Rob, what's going on, man?
What's goody?
Yeah, bro. This popped up on my screen the other day. Lizzo got on Instagram talking about just a distraction. They want you to look at all the celebrities. Diddy ain't really guilty. Jay Z ain't got nothing to do with none of this. It's all manipulation. And then, it's just more and more and more footage coming out of different people. Pusha T gets thrown in it. But how you feeling, man, about this whole story, bro?
What up, though? First, happy Monday.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the type of stuff I don't like to talk about. Like, first, I don't like to talk about our people, right? Because I think that's one of the tools that they've been using for years as distractions. They got us hating on each other while all this stuff is going on. Second, that type of behavior, I think, is protected by the government without going too far, because it's been happening in specific institutions for years. Third, it was normal. Probably up until the Me Too movement, it was kind of like normal. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see older people, young people, or whatever back in the days, it was just like kind of, especially if you was quote unquote like fast and grown. You know what I'm saying? I got friends that tell me all the time about they could remember the grown-ups coming and get the high school kids. And then and it wasn't just a male woman thing. It was also a woman with the males. You know what I'm saying? So I had to tread light on that. What I wouldn't be surprised with the way the industry is, they probably had to go over there to do some kind of business. If you wanted to reach a certain level, you probably had to go over there. That was the only place where you was going to get your funding from, because this is a place for capitalism. You got to get your loans and all that. And then at the end of the day, it being normal, it's just now to where people are like, you know what I'm saying, saying, hey, nah, this is wrong, nah. We knew back in the days with R. Kelly. I remember as a kid, like, yo, he in his 20s, 30s, that girl's 14, You know what I mean? But then we had so many conversations, it was like, well, you know what it is. This happens all the time. But my only issue would be they don't go after the other big names. Like, they don't go after the Caucasians. You know what I'm saying? And nobody said nothing to Hugh Hefner. Nobody said nothing to Elvis. Nobody. So now all of a sudden,
bang, bang, bang,
hitting the fan, and now because when you think about Epstein, he got bonded out 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So if they're gonna do one, then you got to do everybody. And it's unfortunate that now, because this is another thing too. What's happening? I'm seeing people hit a certain level, and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. You get a record deal, now you're getting locked up. Now they bringing out your past. You get a Grammy, whatever. What Killer Mike, whatever, supposedly got arrested last year and escorted out by the police. They just locked up Don Lemon. You know what I'm saying? So like all of this, they reaching, and to me, it just says that things are falling apart. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised, because at the end of the day, that culture has persisted to my knowledge since the Roman era. They have been Plato. I think Plato and Socrates. One of them said, "There's nothing that feels better than the skin of a young boy, the breath of a young boy." Like this been going on, and they've been protecting them for that. The Catholic Church, the Boy Scouts. You know what I'm saying? So now that it's coming out, it's like, okay, if you're gonna do one, then you got to get everybody.
You make a good point. Nothing that's happening right now is of chance, or is it just random? I never thought that either, especially if you are a reader of the Bible, or you got your eyes on certain uh historical documents that might have piqued your interest. They talk about this stuff a lot. Most of us really just don't know about it. I don't look at it like, oh, we're just coming after one specific group of people, even though that is technically how they operate. I don't want to put nobody in that box. To me, everybody is still equally going to be held accountable on my end. I don't know about the rest of them. Uh Lizzo, she need to shut her mouth. She already has her own issues, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why she's speaking up on it. Uh yeah, this is just one of them things that it was inevitable. Eventually it was going to come out, no matter how much you hide it, and they're trying to hide a lot of it. Now I know about Don Lemon. I don't know about the other three journalists. I'm not surprised though, one bit. The freedom of speech thing that they claim we have, I'm not really seeing it too much. The FBI just pulled up on somebody's house because of a comment, I guess, this woman made towards Trump. They showed up on her doorstep asking her a whole bunch of questions. They ain't locked her up, but it was like, y'all really sent the FBI to this woman's house over some words? Like, is it really got that bad? And with this, it's like, all right. So how y'all feel about everybody talking about this, even though you blacked out damn near every name that's up there on that list? Damn near every name. Like the whole page is just a couple words here, block, couple words here. And we know damn well you're not just trying to protect every single name on that list. Some of them names aren't of children. Some of them names are of people that you don't want to be seen the way that you're trying to highlight Will Smith and all these other African American people. Let me ask you a question. Do you think, and I'm trying to keep you out of it as much as possible because I know you don't really be, but how much of this do you think is really being given to the public on a percentage level, like transparency?
I think it's all been finesse. The way they went about it, the way that guy's a convicted felon. The good thing is that I know that he represents people. He is not. The president does not have all the power. The president is the talking head, the puppet for the organizations with the power. And somebody greenlit him to the point where you pretty much hiding in plain sight, or really you ain't even hiding. You just like, oh, you know what? This is what it's gonna be, and we're gonna put the spotlight on all these other people or whatever, and make it look like, because it shouldn't have took for that long for that stuff to come out. Then why is it blacked out? And then also, how did your name get out of it when the main character in all of the files was that guy? You know what I'm saying? So they juiced that up. I believe that. I can't believe not even 1% of what the media tells me. You know what I'm saying? Especially different certain outlets. And I think no matter what, as black people, because we know that they said if you call yourself black, you denounce your humanity. Black is a thing, it's not a color, whatever, whatever. But if you have a black state of mind, then you know that there's a double standard, because even for a person like Diddy, the guy from Abercrombie and Fitch got bonded out and had been doing it. They had let a lot of the popes go. You know what I'm saying? Under the Catholic Church, this had been going on. And let me go right now to say I do not support any type of behavior like that. I don't support pedophilia. I do not support abuse. I do not support neglect, molestation, any of that. And I think that a good distraction would be to say, hey, we got this person and that person, da 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 da. But then at the same time, I'm not going to be dumb, because at the end of the day, there's a certain. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he was saying, let's just say for the music industry, the music industry is a group of people, and they got it. It's like an army, and they're very selective on who they let in and who they let out. I just saw a video that said that Prince, the artist, formerly known as Prince, whatever, had videotapes of people confessing because they looked at him as a prophet type figure, to where he had confessions, videotape of all these artists of everything from murder to assault, this and that, da 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 da. And at the end of the day, he died young. You know what I'm saying? Mike Jackson, to me, he was about to get free. He was going to do the one tour, pay off $500 million or whatever he owed, get free. He died. DMX, all of a sudden got out, got clean, got heavy. All of a sudden, he was finna release his album. So he died of a heart attack. So I noticed that no matter what, our people was going early. And a lot of times it seems like it's a time when they're about to do something where they can't be controlled. So with all of that, yeah, I think all of that news is finesse, because at the end of the day, we got the truth in front of us, and pretty much we can't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? How you get convicted of 34, 50 felonies, found guilty, once, came back, and then now you're trying to make it like a dictatorship, which is not a democracy anyways. No such thing, democracy. Majority rules. It's not the majority of the people that rule, it's the majority of the wealth. This country was built on a contract between wealthy people, and we know who was set to be on the bottom. So anybody believing that, it's two sides of the same feather, two birds, whatever, two birds of the same feather, two wings on the same bird, whatever. Because at the end of the day, if it was that serious, we wouldn't be following the same laws. You would have already had changed the laws. So all that's finesse. So you know what I mean? And I was talking to somebody, my uncle Jay. Shout out to you. If it's like this, to me, the damage was done already. And he was like, my uncle was like, nah, they finna get everybody that was involved in this and that. But to me, I feel like the damage is done. They already made their moves. Like I looked at this thing, they said the ICE or whatever, this was off the immigration, the whole industry, the immigration thing. They had already made more billions than they made ever before in the history of the United States. And the first immigrants that was removed was the Irish. But now you made all this money, you made these billions of dollars, so it don't really matter. That dude is like 80, 85 years old. Like, what you really, he ain't feel no punishment. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
I think it's, you know what I mean? It's all a facade.
Nah, I got you. I got you. It's not going nowhere. Some of it is coming out. All of it isn't going to come out. Some of these people are going to take it to their grave. And that's okay. Like, it's not okay, but it's okay. because at the end of the day, we're not the judge or jury anyway. So just like you, I had a conversation with somebody earlier today, and I'm like, you look, you mad, I'm mad. I know a lot of people that's mad, but guess what? It ain't nothing right now that we could ever do that's going to get them to admit or own up to all of the inhumane things that they have done over the last quarter century or so. They're gonna have to deal with that with the maker himself. So I mean, I expect more to come out. And it's funny because, well, it's not really funny, it's just kind of ironic. Instagram will kick you off of their platform for saying keywords, but I scroll up and down my timeline and I'm seeing Donald Trump chasing kids around. I'm seeing Epstein chasing kids around. I'm seeing people getting shot on camera and all this other stuff. And I'm like, hold up, time out. Y'all don't see this? Doesn't this go against your community guidelines? Because you keep coming after me. It's been over a year and I still can't stream on IG. But y'all letting them get away with this? Yeah. That makes me not care about what I say anymore. I'm gonna keep on being blunt about it. It's bull, all of it is bull, but we all know it is. I want to segue over though, because 50 Cent said that he is going to do a documentary on Jay Z. Yeah. If you've already seen the one he did with 50 Cent, then you know that he got the money to do it. Clearly, he has the personnel behind him to be able to put that together. How do you feel about that? A Jay Z documentary. Jay Z, the billionaire, the man that had Beyonce. Oh, that's everybody is Barack and Michelle Obama. That's what everybody inspired to be like. Everybody wants to have that. But he just got thrown into the fire with everybody else, including Elon Musk. How do you feel about 50 Cent doing a documentary on Jay Z?
I feel like what Malcolm X said, a lot of times when they want you out, they send your own people to do it. I know those guys, haven't been on a good foot, but in my head, I'm looking at the bigger picture. We don't own nothing. We don't own no industry. We don't control nothing. You know what I'm saying? And Jay Z was my hero for years. I ain't gonna lie to you. Jay Z was my hero. 50 Cent was my hero for years till I grew up and I realized like, hey, they put their pants on the same way we put our pants on. And I wouldn't be surprised again for business because in my head right now, whoever the powers that be was, I just speak for New York. They put Jay Z and Puff in charge of the entertainment in my head. It's just my head. You had Baby, Cash Money running New Orleans and that area. You got Trick Daddy down here running Florida. You got Jay Prince running Houston. And you had Jay Z and Diddy running New York. You had Dr. Dre running the West pretty much. And if anybody that wanted to hit certain levels, you have to go through them. Like I was looking at a lot of times at, who assigned to who, because remember, this is what I'm working to do. Like, I don't want to be in the industry though. I want to sell enough records to take care of my people. I need to sell enough records, and that's the last thing that comes. So I'm moving backwards. Even depending on that is like Mission Impossible. But I was looking at the people that are moving up, and every artist that I see that move up, actor, actress, the entertainers, they have to sign with one of them. You had to sign. You had to go through Bad Boy. You got to go through Rock Nation now. You got to go through Slip and Slide. You got to go through Cash Money. Like all of these artists, when you see them blow up, they all took the same trajectory. And so much so that some of them will be signed to all three of them at once. And like I said, for anything business-wise, you had to go through them. I remember Diddy saying years ago, you got to sit at the table with these guys. And you looking, and I think it was like a necessary evil, and what you try to be is like the lesser of two evils or whatever. But I'm a firm believer that to get in those positions, they say when you get in that, you work your way to that position, you don't forget where you came from, and then you turn around and help your people, boom, boom, boom. But I feel like once you get in those positions, you already turned the blind eye so much that you can't never come back. You know what I'm saying? So I think that at the end of the day, to get what they were, they had to sit at those tables. You had to participate, because we got to think now. And like I said, Jay Z, I love Jay Z. He was with R. Kelly for a while. They made the 2 albums. Remember, the second album didn't come out. They went on tours or whatever. You know what I mean? A lot was going on in them situations. You can't just be like, well, I ain't see none of that. Because y'all was in the studio recording. You know, when you in the studio recording, you see some of everything. So, you know what I'm saying? I just think that at the same time, it's an unfair system to where, okay, we got these people in the corner right now. We got them where they want. You know what? We're going to throw all these other names in there. Cool. You know what I'm saying? We're going to throw all these other whoop-de-whoop. We're going, and that's where you put the cloak over people's eyes, because the real crooks right now is running around crazy right now, reckless with all the talking points.
Look, man, I still haven't even watched the first documentary he did on Diddy, because I didn't see the point. The only thing that I was going to get out of it was confirming things that I had already suspected. Like, I already had a feeling that you were moving like that anyway. There was too many stories from your own peers, from your own co-workers and all that. I didn't think it was necessary to even bother watching it.
Real quick, hold that thought. I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize. I watched like 3 episodes. They ain't air nothing. You still don't know nothing.
Really? So, I mean, because everybody is on the internet talking about, oh, I didn't know that he did this. The way people sensationalized it on Twitter and so on and so forth, you would think that man done turned and opened the Stonehenge or something. So you saying it's not really what people were making out to be?
Yeah, it's more like, okay, this was that. It's more speculation. Like they accused nobody of nothing. Nobody said, they don't say that he murdered nobody. They don't know what happened to Big still. They don't know. It's just the guy was following him around. And that's what they said about with the 50 thing. They said basically whoever was taping him for years, and he didn't reimburse them. So they sold the footage to 50. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you really pay attention, 50 was partying with them too a lot. Like they had to been doing business together, because even though New York is big, it's a small slice. And I used to work for UPS in New York on 44th Street and like 12th Avenue. And I used to go past the studio that on multiple nights. I saw Busta Rhymes. I saw Lil Kim one night. I saw Raekwon the Chef. I saw Gangstar, rest in peace, before he died. All of these guys was in and out. They was coming in and out the same building. I used to walk down a specific block to go to UPS to work, and I would see them, and all of them was in the same vicinity. Like all of them recorded the same studios. All of them do their business deals at the same place. So at the end of the day, like I said, I feel more like Malcolm X to where, okay, why are you tearing this person down? You're not going at the president. You're not going at the powers that be. You're not going at the record label execs. You know what I'm saying? And for us, at the end of the day, that's what sells the most. Black drama sells, man. You know what I'm saying? So, almost sell more than sex. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, like, okay, here you go. You knocking another one of us down to where at the end of the day, probably a lot of people you was dealing with wasn't right. Cause you know what I'm saying? They talking about Jimmy Iovine and all that. Them was the ones selling all that. And then at the end of the day, like I said, I love the music. I don't know them. I love the music. I still try to make G music. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. It's far from me because I'm not like that. Never was the toughest. And I love hardcore music. You know what I'm saying? I love hardcore rap music. But at the same time, a lot of the things that he was saying in his music, Jay Z was saying it. You know what I'm saying? If anything, we should be like, man, we probably should have banned their music a long time ago because at the end of the day, they followed the agenda. So now my thing is like this, building off what you said, and I hope I'm answering your question. I'm looking at it like this. If you was with them people for 20 and 30 years, why are you talking now?
I'm glad you brought up that last part because that's exactly what I was about to say. All this time done passed. You already knew what was happening. Like it's all right. You sit on this information, you laughing, and you smiling with them, you collaborating with them, and doing this, that, and third. And now all of a sudden, you have a moral compass. Or is it even about having a moral compass? What side of this are you on? Did you come to the light and you say, "Oh shit, this ain't right at all"? We getting older. Our health is at risk. We're not limber like we used to be. Eventually, we will pass and leave this earth too. Maybe I need to rethink the way that I've been living my life. And you had an epiphany and decided that now is the time for you to start righting wrongs. Or is this just business? Because like you said, drama sells just as much as sex does. So is it about morality or is it about finances? Because you can't convince me that you just knew all this stuff was going on and you didn't say nothing. And then on top of that, you sound like you got an attitude or you hate these people, but you couldn't have hated them that much. And then another thing that you said that I thought was interesting to bring up is the fact that we do have a problem with picking and choosing what is wrong and what is right. Like most of it is wrong, but because it appeals to us, we kind of just like, we just kind of push this over here because it's not bad. It's bad, but it's not bad. So I can kind of put this over here, and then I can categorize this as super horrible, and I can jump on this and be the moral police on that. But then with this, I just, I don't like that part. And the older you get, the more you realize it's like, yeah, most of us are hypocrites. I hate to say it, but yeah, it's a shame, man. Looking at this, I'm like, all right, yeah. Because most of the music we shouldn't have been consuming, most of the stuff we watch on TV we shouldn't be consuming. Some of the stuff we celebrate in different cultures we shouldn't be celebrating. This is just another one where it's like, all right, we can get everybody off our back about this and talk about that for the next 2, 3, 4 months. I'm not really sure that a Jay Z documentary is going to change much of anything. It's going to sell tickets. It's going to make him some money. I don't really think it's going to do too much of anything. I did notice that he completely wiped his Instagram account though. He still got those followers. I don't know what the hell wrong with y'all. Y'all still following him. But he wiped his entire account. He only got one reel up there. Everything else is gone.
I mean, you innocent till proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking about all my favorite rapper lines, Biggie lines, DMX lines. I let my wife listen to DMX first album, and I was like, yo, this is the craziest. This might be the craziest tape ever came out since I was born. Woo, woo, woo. And I went through and heard some stuff like, yo, like this is what, like at the end of the day, like we let that pass. Like I let that pass. I was rapping them lines to where it's like, well, it ain't me. And you know that's our culture, right? It ain't happened to me. So you don't really get mad till it happened to you and yours. You know what I mean? But listening to some of them lines, bro, I was like, yo, like 20 years later, how could you? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm gonna always tell y'all straight up, I was horrible. I was a horrible individual. I was a creep, horrible and soft at that. You know what I'm saying? Super, super soft, sensitive, scary. And every day I work to make sure I don't do nothing like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Because they say once you were one type of person, you never shed that skin. You always come back. You know, twice the same or twice a baby or whatever. So I make sure every single day that I don't exhibit any of those behaviors anymore. And it's so much behavior. And I work to keep in environments to where I'm not tempted or I don't do it. I make sure that I see the evil that I did to where, bro, it took a minute, but it's like, nah, you was wrong. And the further I get from it, the more I try to run from it, the closer I get to it, right? But the only saving grace that I could feel in my head is that I don't do that no more, and I see if I could prevent people from doing that. So only thing, if I had to judge, I would be like, okay, are you still doing those things that you was doing? You know what I'm saying? And it appears that certain people didn't stop. But if we're gonna look and say certain people didn't stop, then we gotta look at the other certain people that never stopped, that actually use the law and are protected by the laws. And then when you look at the laws, you realize this stuff been going on since the beginning. Matter of fact, the laws protect us. You gotta think, in certain states, the marriage age is still young. Back in the days, you could get married at 14. And then you had to marry somebody, a lot of times in the code, you had to marry somebody that could take care of you. So, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be the judge and be calling these people names and whoop-de-whoop. But what I will look at is mighty suspicious that all the time we'll go at each other, but we won't go at the powers that be. And I understand, because that's the spoon that we eat off. And if I can't go at the person that feed me, because if they cut me off, I'm a starve. But at the same time, first, in our culture, I'm gonna say we've been struggling. We've been knew it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, when we gonna step up and say, hey man, like yo, because that's like if you get some money or something and I come at you, you know what? I'm gonna make a documentary about Creed, because Creed said he don't want me on the show no more. He started getting paid, and I ain't getting paid. I'm gonna write a tell-all, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait, like, yo, you're not. That wasn't. If anything, Jay Z wasn't 50's oppressor. You know what I mean? Like, so at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you're not. When are you going to do that? You use your powers to go at the system that's been oppressing your people, whoever you affiliate with, or not people. Instead of just saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna pop on this guy because this was my enemy. Because at the end of the day, the people in his corner is not clean neither. And like I said, I always revert back to Malcolm X. And this is what I wanted to say to your point too, Creed. You know, we already know a lot of times if you speaking the truth, you're outcasted. If you say anything that goes against the norm, you're outcasted, you're crazy, you're cuckoo, you're psychotic, you're woo. And we know that this happens to us all the time.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I mean, stand for nothing, fall for anything. This ain't the time nor the place for it. I get humbled every time. Every time I see a story that contradicts how I used to talk, or I listen to a lyric, and it's just like you said, and it's just like what Chef said. The way that a lot of this is designed, it's to keep us oppressed. What are we most obsessed with? Living vicariously through somebody else, fantasizing and romanticizing about having a certain type of a lifestyle that we don't have because that's not how the design was set for us. Breadcrumbing us with different addictions and habits and things of that nature. I just want to do my part.
Also, we gotta remember celebrities. A lot of time, people with extreme talents are often given a higher threshold of forgiveness. I guess, for lack of better words, they are accepted a lot of times where they could be horrible people in real life, but their skills supersede that. So you know, and I get it. America was based on violence. We need our violence. You know what I'm saying? The music is therapeutic. The entertainment, we need that. That's a part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? But if we're gonna do it like that, then we need to separate the music. We need to separate the entertainment. We need to separate the sports from the real life. You know what I'm saying? If you're only gonna hold certain people accountable, and then let your favorite person slide because that's or we're gonna keep letting these people slide that been sliding and just only get these people over here, then we're moving totally backwards. You know what I'm saying? And we watching it every day. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my issue with 50 over anything to say, hey, okay, you know, because at the end of the day, they probably could make a documentary on him. You know what I'm saying? So, and we know that they've been on opposite sides. And my thing would be to control what? Like you want to control what? Because at the end of the day, all of them, when they got to $1 billion, all of them was knocked down, first of all. And none of them was allowed to do anything particular to help their culture. Maybe their family, but everybody that tried to go past that to really try to help everybody in their culture, they got knocked off. Who is really here right now that really was effective, that wasn't stomped out?
Yeah, you got a good point.
Bro, we celebrate Martin Luther King Day. And every year I get a little more upset because that man was murdered in broad daylight. And even if he was murdered in the hospital room, smothered or whatever, they still pump the Bible and they still pump peacefulness. But his head was blown off for something that he was doing positive. Malcolm X, he was running around for as long as he was with the nation, he was cool. But then as soon as he started his own organization and included all different cultures, because the new organization was all inclusive, he was killed by his own people. A lot of these people were still living. Big and pop. They was breaking laws. They was lawless. You know what I'm saying? Doing this to here, this and that, state to state, whatever, lawless. But they was motivational. You know what I'm saying? And then when both of them sort of error their ways and went to like change around, now they wiped out. And then they'll look at it and say, well, it's your own people doing this, black on black crime. But then at the same time, we know that the government and all of this, the CIA, whatever was involved. So to this day, at the end of the day, it's safer. It would be safer if you and I started beefing than me to go against one of the heads of the channels or one of the record label execs. And now we in a spot right now where people is being unalive again. Like we watching judges go, prosecutors is getting, you know what I'm saying? And it had been happening, but now it's happening en masse. Protesters is getting shot up. You know what I'm saying? And so now it's like, yo, you know what? This what he said, the chicken's coming home to roost. It's nothing new because when all of the other stuff fails, when the media fails, the music fails, we just go ahead and use the violence, the good old fashioned violence. But at the same time, I feel like right now it's a free for all because some people is grasping to hold on. It's falling apart. That's how I feel right now. It's falling apart. And that ain't even with TikTok or whatever. It's just the fact that a lot of people is tired of struggling. People is tired of struggling. They're not falling for the American dream. They're not falling for if you work hard and you pull your bootstrings up. People were seeing like, yo, nah, man, we not finna keep doing this. So it don't really, you know what I'm saying? It's just the way all of those empires fell. You know what I'm saying? But again, we gotta be watchful and leery of what we seeing and then who's going at who. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I can't sit up here and judge nobody with my closet. You know what I'm saying? And I had a rap about that. I said already had my scandals, call me Jim Bob Randall. Cunningham Rambo, tattoo a pipe to your hand bone. You know what I'm saying? I did all my stuff for free. So I can only imagine what happened with the power or whatever. But again, at the end of the day, okay, like you said, these people have been around for a long time. Nobody's seen nothing till now. That's real funny to me, especially in a culture where you could get paid on 50 different outlets to go around and tell your story. Because I've been tripping on a lot of the artists, they still going around telling stories from 20 years ago. And it's like, I understand, you want to hear that, but you're not telling me nothing new. You really just going around. Okay, I'll pay you $5,000. It's like what's that guy, Vlad? I don't know how much he pays or whatever, but you could go on right there and just tell all your business real quick. Probably make a bag. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you was here 20 years ago. What was popping in? Because I know ain't much change.
Nah. It's a new year, new day, new strategy, repackaging. What was last week? I said it's no different with Coca-Cola or Pepsi or root beer soda. All they do is change the pitch, change the commercial, change the dress code. One day it might be a kid doing a commercial. Next day it might be Megan Thee Stallion doing a commercial. That's it. But they just rebrand it over and over. That's all we looking at now. My heart, I should have started out with this, but my thoughts, my heart, and my prayers go out to everybody that's ever fallen victim any of the atrocities that's been committed by these grown men and women. I mean, we've all affected somebody in our own way. So, to your point, yeah, I can't really throw stones at nobody.
We got to
But
break them too, because you got to think they probably went through it too, and that's why I said it becomes normalized. Because it's like, well, if I went through it, you got to go through this too. This wasn't, I had to do this, that, and this. So you got to do this, da 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 da. They probably, you know what I'm saying? They probably thought it was normal. They called it, a rites of passage.
yeah, I'm not even about to go there. It could have been though. It really could have been. I ain't gonna hold you. Some of this stuff is that trauma ain't no joke. Um, my final thoughts though. If he does decide to do it, and I know a lot of people want to watch, be careful with that. Because if you ain't watched enough movies and enough TV, you already know that a lot of that stuff has other motives and messages and agendas behind it. I don't have the doing this is just we just freestyle for real. But to legitimately package a video, now you can attest to this, to put together a video of any kind where it has thought behind it, you have to put things in there that matter, that means something, because you want the audience to connect to it. It might be your background, it might be the location you in, it might be the lyrics, or it might be a combination of both. Just be careful with what you're about to watch. They they're I don't know what they releasing. I don't. They just giving people stuff. They sitting at home and they picking and choosing what they want to show. I'm gonna stop there. You got the mic.
I look at it like this. Like I said, Jay Z is one of my heroes, and innocent till proven guilty. He said it himself. Believe half of what you hear and half of what you see. And at the end of the day, celebrities' blood pumped through their veins just like ours. If I come a celebrity or whatever, hold me accountable. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop looking at these people like they're bigger than the program. You know what I mean? They breathe, they eat, they sleep the same air, the same food we eat. They put their pants on the same way. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop. And I had to do this. I had to do this myself. It took years too to deprogram myself too, because like I would almost have fights about my favorite rappers. I remember being up weeks at a time arguing, and then I realized first I don't know them, and they never paid none of my bills. And a lot of times that comes when you out here on the grind, and then okay, they ain't coming to save me. And I think we was a little more safe from that era because we knew, okay, Biggie Smalls. I never was gonna see Biggie Smalls. He wasn't gonna help me do nothing. So, but I still love his music. But we gotta stop putting these people, these politicians, these talented people, including myself, on a higher pedestal and start seeing for what it really is. We human, whatever that means. Because I heard being human, you might, if you qualify yourself as human, you could be giving up a lot of your power. But we got to stop putting people up there as if they are the end all tell all. We got to stop arguing and well, he did this and he did that. Another, you don't know them. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know them, let it be. And I had a friend. I talked to my good friend, and I know we got to go. I talked to my good friend yesterday, and he said, for 50 Cent, if you knew how 50 Cent was in real life, does that make his first album not classic? If you knew what he was doing, this and that, da 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 da, and he tell you, well, he was selling dope, this and that. Most of 9 out of 10 times, a sensible person would say he was selling poison, da 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 da. But does that make the Get Rich or Die Trying not classic? And I had to say no. Like Get Rich or Die Trying, like I could hear the songs in my head right now just thinking about the album. So the music is one thing, the entertainment is one thing, the sports is one thing. The person is separate. And we got to stop, you know what I mean? We got to get into ourselves, start tapping into ourselves and celebrate the people around us that's really doing big things that with nothing. And instead of just, and I understand it's hard working every day, it's hard to change and you need something to look at. But at the same time, now I'm starting to see we got to start looking within instead of giving these people superpowers, because then you be disappointed when you realize that they're regular individuals. And at the end of the day, that they should not be worshipped. Neither should I. You know what I'm saying? So we need to do that.
Will said. And a shout outs to everybody in the chat. Shout outs to you, bro. I ain't even. It's just messed up, man. It's messed up. This is all of this is messed up, man. I didn't expect for all of this to unfold the older I got. You know, just the stuff that I'm seeing on the internet. But humble pie, a lot of humble pie. But yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody, man, who came out this evening, man. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. We're gonna chop it up some more tomorrow. Tune in, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy the rest of your evening. Again, do me a solid before you go, if you don't mind.
What's the goddamn button?
Peace.